I'll be competing in my first bodybuilding show, and you'll all get to see every bit of the plan, struggles, and victories along the way. You guys are going to get the full, unfiltered truth of what it actually takes to step on stage. And throughout this entire prep, I'll walk you guys through every part of my plan so that if you want to implement anything that I show you into your own routine, you can. Without further ado, let's get into the Bodybuilding Prep Series, Episode 1. So when I was growing up, I was born and raised in a pretty small town. The town is named Durango, Colorado, and at the time I was growing up, it was about 17,000 people. Now, this was a small mountain town, and it was pretty easy to be active growing up. There was a river that ran right through town called the Animas. So during the summertime, people would be rafting or biking or hiking or camping. And then in the wintertime, we'd get plenty of snow. So we would always spend time skiing or snowboarding or sledding outside. So growing up, I had always been pretty active. And I remember my mom in 4th grade, she had forced me to play a sport. And because before that, I was adamant on not playing an organized sport. I just wanted to play outside with my friends or do whatever. So I remember she said to me, she was like, Cameron, you can play whatever sport you want to, but you have to pick a sport. And I was like, okay. So I ended up choosing karate at the time. I don't know why, I just thought it was a cool thing to do. Wanted to learn some martial arts, and so I chose karate. And that was the first sport I actually ended up playing. And you know, you don't necessarily play karate, but it was the first like organized, you know, there was other kids there, and it wasn't necessarily like a team thing to do, but you were there with other kids and you'd go to practice, you know, you'd wear your uniform, you'd move up in belts and you'd perform, and you would train. And so I really fell in love with the process of just that repetitive action, and each time you went, you're getting better and better and better. And so after that, I remember going into a few other sports like soccer, baseball, and then getting into middle school, I was doing football and then wrestling and track. And then going into high school, I just stuck to do with running and then wrestling. Wrestling was my main sport that I had done growing up. And I fell in love with the just art of training and that consistency and just pushing yourself to your absolute limit. And part of training for wrestling, so you had your conditioning side, you had your wrestling side, and then you had a section of it where you would train in the gym. And I remember the workouts for that were not necessarily the training I do now, but it was very exciting to get into the weight room and start moving like serious weight. You know, you train with your wrestling partners and you do a lot of body weight things. And then when you translated that over to weights, it was fun to actually see how much weight you could lift. And so I always remember just, you know, wanting to do that during the off season whenever I wasn't wrestling. And so during the summertime, I would train in the gym as much as I could. And so after I had graduated high school, I remember sticking with the gym because it was like my form of sport. It was the thing that I still, you know, wanted to stay consistent with, and I still wanted to perform, for a lack of a better word. And so I was going to the gym pretty consistently, and I remember, you know, every once in a while I'd be talking about this with my friends, and they'd be like, oh, like, can we get a workout in with you? Or like, yeah, let's go to the gym. And I'd be like, yeah, just come along. I'll show you what I do, and you can just follow along with what I'm doing. And so every once in a while when I would work out, I would bring my friends along, or, you know, anyone else that wanted to come with. You know, I would learn from people that were ahead of me who were bigger and stronger than me, and I would take that information and then I would show my friends what I was learning, and, you know, we'd grow and we'd implement all this together. As the years passed by, I really fell in love with that process of training and then also training others. You know, I recently went back to Durango to see my family, and when I was up there, it was so great to just spend time with them and do all these activities during the summertime. And the entire time I was up there, we were very active, and I knew that I could keep up with these activities. I had no problem going from one thing to the next, and I knew it was because I had a level of physical capability to do that. And I want to be able to share that with other people so that if anyone else wants to get to that level, I can show them how. So my hopes for vlogging this prep series for my first ever bodybuilding show is to inspire the people that are watching this, to show them what you can actually push your body through and how capable you are when you set your mind to something. I'll take you guys through every bit of the plan that I have, all the workouts that I'm doing, the meals that I'm eating, everything that I'm doing to recover properly. And I want to take you guys through, the mindset that it actually takes to be consistent for a long enough period of time to get great results. So if you're brand new to this channel, my name is Cameron Jacobs, and I love to train, and I love to train other people, and I hope that you can follow along for this journey. And if it teaches you anything, or if you feel inspired, then that's all I hope to get out of this, is just to show people what you can be capable of. And it'll be a great consistency for me to not only train, but also vlog this online and share this with other people who may have that same passion. And I want to be accountable for myself and to others so that they can see this process and see what it actually takes. So I hope you guys are excited to follow along with this process as I transform my physique into the best shape that I've ever been in my entire life. And if you guys can learn anything from it, and you can take any of these tools and implement this into your own routine, then that's great. That's what I'm hoping for. So follow along for this journey, you guys, and let's get after it.